What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today I finally bit the bullet and ordered the QuickJacks directly from QuickJack. These are the 6000 TLXs. They are the extended versions. They're 76 inches long, and the jack point distance is around 66 inches, so it does cover my Lotus, which is primarily what I would want it for. Any other lowered car or sedan, most SUVs, as well as pickup trucks, body on frames, these will kind of basically take care of everything. The 6,000 pounds, so it'll lift my 4Runner TRD Pro because it's around 5,400 pounds or so, give or take. And then the Sequoia is over 6,000 pounds. So it won't lift this one, but I really don't need the QuickJacks for these. For oil changes and stuff, I just crawl right under. Plenty of room because they're both lifted. Comes in 4 boxes because I got the wall mounts right there. But the power unit and the 2 QuickJacks. So let's start unboxing them. These I'm going to hang up on my walls somewhere. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. Basically what they look like. So little rubber protection around here. And then these will just go up on a wall somewhere, anywhere. Put them, so I'll figure out where I'm gonna put them. But I do want them hung just because I want them out of the way. So next box I'm gonna open up is the power unit. All right, once you open it, there's a ton of documents, guys. Tons of instructions. Pretty sure a bunch of warranty stuff, a bunch of Alto stuff, whatever. And all the packaging, hoses, etc. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to set these up, just because the one thing I've noticed is prior models, over a year old and such, you had to install the fittings on all of the hoses and the fittings on the jacks or the QuickJacks by yourself. They didn't come pre-installed. But the new versions, and just recently, QuickJack's decided to pre-install these at the factory. So everybody that would get them wouldn't have to deal with having to install them themselves and causing a lot of leaking issues or whatever, or installing them wrong, or using Teflon tape when they weren't supposed to, or whatever, yada yada. So, and there's a different way you bleed them now, which makes it a much easier way to bleed them versus having to lift them up on the rubber pads and bleed them a certain way. And it just caused a lot of confusion and unnecessary grievances. So they figured out an easier way to do it. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do it. So here's the new power unit. So you'll see that doesn't have a little, well, it has a different breather valve than the one prior. Fittings are already installed from the factory, so you don't have to worry about that. It makes your life a lot easier. You don't have to wait 24 hours or whatever the hell they were asking for to do for the thread sealer to dry. Here in the box, you get 4 tall blocks, 4 medium-sized blocks. So 8 blocks altogether. You can stack these. They do not recommend you stacking any higher than 2, than 1 medium and 1 tall. And the handle for the power unit. So probably the first thing I install. And here's the power unit on my workbench. Came with a little picture. First thing is just secure the handlebar to the unit. It looks like they did a checklist of everything that was included in the 3 boxes. So, you know, more like a quality control check. I printed these out. They're already in the manual, but I printed these out from the computer just to get a head start of what components I need to look for, make sure I have all the components, and a setup checklist. I run down through the checklist to make sure that I set it up properly, didn't miss anything, and that's it. Here's the handle installed, the 2 Allen heads, easy enough. Next up is eventually, oh, by the way, you guys should get yourselves some ATF or hydraulic fluid. That is Dextron and Mercon, all that kind of jazz. You know, accepted and available, whatever. So make sure you have, it takes 2.1 quarts, or I just buy 3 of them. And fill this up about a ½ inch below the fill line. And then once you start to cycle it for the first time, there's going to be fluid that goes into obviously the hoses and the QuickJacks. So you might have to refill it after that first initial setup to make sure that you're still ½ inch below the fill line. QuickJack gives you one of these safety cards with a cute little zip tie to put on somewhere conspicuous in your lift area about what to do and not to do around a lift. And let me tell you, if you need to hang this to remind yourself of this stuff, please don't buy these. So this is going right into the trash. You also get some bathroom reading, American National Standard for safety requirements for operation inspection, trash. Lifting it right. 2-post versus in-ground and multi-post runways, and where to trash. Vehicle lifting points for frame engaging. This is kind of cool. I can see you holding on to it to know exactly where a certain jack point is for a specific vehicle. I doubt my Lotus is in here, but good nonetheless. We can keep that one. Here's what I had printed out from the computer already. Kudos to QuickJacks for installing all of these already onto the machines, so you don't have to deal with it. Big time saver. So we'll keep that one. What's this? More automotive safety tips. Yeah, trash. And it's container. So that's the documentation. I actually started reading this. And this is a TSB from BenPack. And it just basically tells you that this update outlines the elimination of specific assembly steps due to the pre-installation of quick connect fillings, whatever, and hydraulic elbow fittings. Quick connect fittings and hydraulic elbow fittings will no longer be user assembled. They will arrive pre-installed on all QuickJack models. Your QuickJack may or may not be affected by this update. Well, by golly, mine was affected, and they connected everything for me. Woo! So yeah, just an FYI. Again, that's why I'm making this video, because QuickJacks did some of the work for you, or BenPack did some of the work for you. All right, here are the QuickJacks, the 6000 TLXs. Just put them side by side. They obviously have the L fittings right there, the elbows. I'm going to have to pressurize those 2 canisters to 50 psi per the instructions. Bleed the hydraulics, and first I'm going to fill the unit with ATF. So let's do that now. It takes, again, 2.1 quarts per the instructions. Go slow, use a funnel, don't spill. Okay, next up, after connecting these short hoses, 17 millimeter wrench. Again, these elbows were already pre-assembled from the factory. All I had to do was connect these little short hoses and fish them under, right? You got to go under and then out, so you don't pinch them when you're lifting the vehicle. Same thing on this side, 17 millimeter wrench, and fish them through and out. Now the next thing to do is pressurize these to 50 psi and then bleed. All right, so I remove the Schrader valve cover. All right, so you also want to release a little bit of pressure just to make sure there wasn't any fluid that was in there from shipping. Seems like it's okay. Then I have this lamical that I bought from Amazon for like 30 bucks. This thing's awesome. It's super small. As you can see, it fits in the palm of my hand. And it's awesome. So I just hold it down for 3 seconds. I could have a preset. I had it preset to 50 psi because that's what we want to do. You just screw it in, and then you press the start button. You could change it from car to motorcycle to bicycles. Bicycle, like road bikes, you can get them up to 150 psi. So this goes all the way up to 150 psi. Pretty cool. Little machine for 30 bucks. Highly recommended. Portable, comes with a little case. You can throw it in your car, wherever, and it works. So we'll connect it. Okay, it's connected. Right now it's reading 6 psi. Press it. There you go. That's it. All right, now that the little canisters are filled to 50 psi, instructions say we got to lube these little bad boys with a little bit of hydraulic fluid or ATF, the male side, and connect them to the long hoses. So I'm going to grab some of this, liberally lubricate these. What you want to do is make sure that you protect the O-rings so that you don't want to go in dry, right? Nobody likes going in raw and dry. Things get a little chafy. So you got to lube it to protect the O-rings on the inside. All right, so we're going to do that. Connect them, connect it to the power unit, and then bleed them. All right, so I put some rags underneath to catch some of the hydraulic fluid that's going to spill inevitably when you're bleeding it. Take a 3/16 hex key, and here, let's do this one really quick. Oh, this one was loose. So you just want to loosen them up, do not remove them. Just to let the air out. You'll probably hear a little hissing, probably from the air that was already in the system. Sorry guys, I did it off camera just because I couldn't do it with two hands and hold the camera at the same time. So there you have it. There was a good amount of air that just hissed out, bubbled up a little bit. And then once the air was gone completely and it was just fluid, tighten it back up, both sides, minimal loss. So now I'm gonna check the jacks to raise them up a little bit more, see if they raise at the same time. If not, we will do the bleeding process again until they start to raise at the same time on both sides evenly. And then I will fill the the power unit with a little bit more ATF to make sure that it is a 1/2 inch below the fill line. So let's see if they will raise. Yeah, it looks like it. Let's try it again. Yeah. Slow for them to drop down just because there's no weight on them. So this one here, I'm gonna have to step on it. There we go. So these are designed to go down with weight, guys. So they're not broken if they don't go down when you're just testing them out. But do not lift them full length or anything like that when there's no weight on them, because it's extremely difficult to drop them back down again because they are pressurized. So even QuickJack says do not do that. So don't lift them more than 6 inches when you're testing them after bleeding. Perfect. Look at that. Great. Perfect. So there you have it, guys. I'm gonna wipe up a little bit of that ATF, fill the power unit where it needs to be, and we are done. So hopefully this helped. I know there's a lot of videos out there on setting them up, but there's not too many of them with the new revision to how they are set up and how they are pre-assembled from the factory. So hopefully this helps. Please stay tuned for my next video that will show where I'm going to hang them, and of course how I'm going to lift the Lotus. So thanks again for subscribing to the channel, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully this video Helps you guys out a lot. Gave me something to do on a nice Sunday afternoon here in Southern California. And hopefully it helps. Put some comments down below if you guys did it a little bit differently, your guys' experience with them. But I've been looking forward to these for a long time. Finally got them. So let's start using them. Till next time.